like sex, okay?
Yeah.
I like sex. We all like sex. We want to have sex.
And-
But we want to do it safely and comfortably.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Quick Therapy. This is Shay, sex educator, love and intimacy coach.
What's up, everybody? I'm Johnny Stone. I am a cam model and a content creator.
So I'm excited to get into this conversation today. We're going to be talking about sexual health. I'm excited to know what you know. I'm excited to know what you want to know and really what we want to share with the audience.
I'd like to talk about the stigma that the sex industry is not clean, when in the reality of it, we actually get tested so often that we're practicing a lot more safer sex. And I think that we should normalize that in everyday life, in everybody's life, you know? Like, you should always be getting tested. And one of the things that I would like to talk about with you and ask you about is your thoughts on herpes. And I know that a lot of people live with that in the porn industry. It's scary to talk about, but I think that we should talk about it and normalize it and make people feel safer, because that's how we're gonna be able to contain it and stop it from spreading, is if we stop being scared of it and start talking about it and letting people know that they should be comfortable being honest about their status.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I love the fact that you said safety, right?
It's all, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, safety, conversation, and I think the biggest thing about the herpes, right, like herpes virus, is that people don't really understand what it is, right? If you had chicken pox, it's very likely, right, 99.9% of the time, that it's gonna come up positive if you ask for the test. There are two types, but yeah, like you said, the education around it needs to be had. So what that looks like to me is, when you have the conversation, you let people know, if I don't have an outbreak, we're safe. I take my medication.
Medication is important. The
Medication is
accessibility to that should be looked into. It's not most of your, like health insurance, which that's a whole other thing. But if you're fortunate enough to have health insurance, it's pretty affordable, like $12. It could change your life, and just admit, facing it and dealing with it and not feeling too scared and just ashamed of it,
Yeah, I think what I find interesting too is that there are a lot of doctors who are also uncomfortable having a conversation, because a lot of doctors are not well versed in sex education. I had to go to school to study sex education. Doctors do not, nor do therapists. They actually have to go do additional learning for it. So I think they would be good people to bring into the fold as well, right? We need our doctors to come into, to bring them into the conversation. Let's educate people. Let's talk about real life experiences. Let's give the real numbers, and let's be more comfortable having a conversation. We all like sex, okay? I like sex. We all like sex. We want to have sex, but we want to do it safely and comfortably. So yeah, we care about our partners. We want to make sure we're okay.
And the thing about STDs is, you might not have ever gotten one, but that's not to say that you won't ever get one. And so while you might be like, ew, oh, they're gross, it's a possibility for everybody, and that's why it's important to talk about these things and discuss these safeties.
How are you having conversations with your partners about, hey, this is what safe sex looks like, this is my background and my STIs, I'm clean, or, these are how many partners I'm currently engaged with? How do you have those conversations?
Right, so I think that the most important thing there is obviously honesty, and then like I said, I try to make people feel comfortable. And I've worked with friends who have had herpes, for example. They were embarrassed about it, but then they opened up to me before we worked, and they were fearful that I wouldn't want to work with them anymore. But I was like, are you taking your meds? Check for an outbreak, and there's a lot of signs and symptoms too, so you can feel safe. And in that case, it was totally fine. And not everybody's gonna do that, not everybody's gonna be open-minded, but the important thing is that you take that leap, because you'll be surprised by how accepting some people can be, and you'll be surprised by how the peace of mind that will come from just truly being honest about it. So I'll be quite frank, I've had STDs, obviously, and the majority of them were literally before I did porn, because I didn't get tested, and I wasn't educated. I didn't know so much about STDs until I joined the sex work industry, and I feel like it's safer.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys are put in a position where, because this is your job, you guys have to have these conversations where we're not required to do it in the regular world, it definitely changes the way we look at safety, but a lot of people don't know that.